Well, let's take a look here. Behind me is the fence in rough, right? I haven't pulled anything. It's as I pull these posts in, you see some of them are leaning. They are not in yet. I'm going to use the tractor to pull those in, and I'll straighten them up. Now this fence isn't like square to the boundaries. I'm actually it's two trapezoidal shapes, and I didn't want to see the barbed wire from my house. So I deliberately went behind this grove of trees, and then I'll toggle over, I'll run it, and then I'll toggle over and do that. So each paddock will end up with the same grazing area, but visually I won't see barbed wire right outside my fence, right outside my house window. So I'm feeling good about that. I'm feeling good about this. I'll get my tractor fired up and finish driving these all in so they're all the same height, and away we go. This little weird jog of trees I'm just going to use to my advantage for the gate. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to put it yet. I'm not quite sure if I'm not going to weld a little bit of size onto it, but that's one example. I paid $50 for that, right? So and then these, I have two of these I was going to use as pedestrian gates, but there's actually two that swing in the middle. I might, since large gates are expensive and smaller gates are cheaper, I might put these back together and put it in halfway down there, a big gate. All right, I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. Haven't decided, but to pull in the barbed wire, I could pull it and then put the gates in, no biggie. I haven't decided. All right, let me...
Or, better yet, then put two gates.
Well, I thought about making this super wide so that if I bring in another shipping container, build another home over here, I could build two homes on this property. And if I'm going to sell it, maybe I will, right? And then each one I get more. But do I want to work that hard? No. And I don't even want to sell to begin with. I would really like this to work out for me. To go from $70 a year to $6,000, $7,000, and next year double that again. I threw Model T's on my shoulder.
I could lift up a whole tree from the roof.
I threw my titties over my shoulder and squirted milk up my ass. Surprise! Oh, God.
I like how we make old men sound like older than us.
Yeah.
You know? So from this fence, I've got all of this woods, I got that woods, and way over there is my house. And I don't want to look out my bedroom window there and see barbed wire. Romantic little fence in the distance is fine, but I don't want to feel like I'm caged in. I'm going to use some of these bed springs as temporary gates that will hang. I pull those down and drag them every year to level the road. Got some big posts in there. I've got some more gate material there. Just odds and ends I've been gathering up. But it sure is nice to have a couple other cowboys come out and run those posts, right? It's not like you double your time, it's like you get 4 times faster. Aaliyah's out right now. She's straightening one of my connexes up. So there's a crew out here. So I say I'm out solo building, everybody, but you see, it takes a little village. For those of you who don't have to solo build, more power to you. That's the right way to build. All right, this is probably enough. You get the point. I pull a string, I put in posts 40 or 40 feet apart, depending on what works between trees. Then I put in 3 steel posts in between those wooden posts, and that's a rock solid fence. And I've got to line up for 200 or 300 feet at a time between trees, so it's not straight parallel of it. It's straight between trees. Your eyes probably won't even notice. All right. Well, is it cheating using my tractor to drive these posts in the ground? No, it's smart. Good tractoring. All right. So taking a look here at my shirt. Look at my little Dolly Parton. Right. The fence post top should be right about by her smiling teeth right there. So she's my marker for right height the fence post. So what I've got to do is keep you guys out of harm's way, not damage my camera, not be standing under hydraulics in the middle of the day. I'm going to put you on a thing over here, put you, I think I'll speed walk you so you can see the tractor moving. And this soil is super hard, everybody. Like end of a drought, concrete hard. So they're not just going to go in. If there's a little more moisture, they just go in. So I'm going to have to bang them. Alrighty. So I like to slide this on and then hammer it with the tractor and drive it in. So we'll go ahead and do that. But doing it by hand's pretty tough. Let me get the tractor lined up and just squish it in with the tractor. That's all I'm gonna do. And you'll see I'll pick the tires of the tractor up off the ground. This stuff's rock hard. See that ground it's super hard. Let me keep working here. All right, good enough where I come from. Yeah, that needs a little more knocking in. All right, that needs a little bit more. I need to go get my gloves. I got to get it to Dolly's smile, or else the tops will look like that. I got to make it look good. All right, so I need it to the top of the Dolly smile. So that's how high should your fence post be, everybody? To the top of the Dolly smile. All right, so let's talk about the summary on this little thing. So between a post here, the wooden post, 40 feet. Sometimes 44 foot, depending if I'm going to go 10 feet or 11, based on which tree I'm trying to reach, right? But then equidistance between the posts are T-post. And of course, they would be 10 feet apart. Boop, 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 boop. And that looks pretty good. Let me rotate and we'll talk through it. So I have seen men build bad fences before, especially carpenters, because they'll put a level on the wire and they'll run level. Well, the ground's not. So when you're running a fence, the ground is the reference point. So it's always measured up from the ground. So going back to my Dolly Parton shirt, that work, right? No tape measure. It's because I ran all of the, the T-post to her little smile there, right? So one Dolly high. That's how tall. I don't know how tall she is in real life, but that's about 5'2". So, but no big deal. But listen, that was in a hole, and so then I walk up to a high spot, and look, it's the same height. And ultimately, if I went to the highest high spot and I took a look at it, see, one Dolly high, right? That one's a little bad, but that's off an inch. But visually, let me rotate. What you end up with is a nice pattern across the tops of all the posts where they all look like where they belong, right? Visually, you see that. So don't get all in a funk about fences and pole levels and all that. And then my string was just this old piece of electric wire. It's not live or anything, but that's what I used to put the post in. Lastly, for straight up and down, eventually, once I run the barbed wire, I'm going to have to, bend whatever post, whatever way, and straighten that out. But all this was done by eye. And none of it was done with a tape measure except the bottoms where I wanted 10 feet apart. I didn't want a weird thing, so I did measure those. But I could have had a stick that I was using as a reference point. So the other thing is this looks really nice. It honestly does in the morning light. It's nice and straight, but it's not straight in reference to my boundaries. It's straight visually from that point to this point. That's the straight. And no wobbly. And then I'll put a couple of posts in here. The barbed wire come off the back of those two trees. Here will be my gate. Now, in the video you won't see, but the gate and tree area is at an angle relative to the fence, and that'll be okay. And then I'll drive through that gate. However, I'm not sure how I'm going to fix that up yet. But then this run is coming off at a pronounced angle, but I'm running straight to a distant point. So that's how you build a straight fence, is you find a long point, you run a string, and you just run to that. I guess I could do laser levels. I'm not talking about miles, but I'm following the contours of the land. Once I hit that tree, then I'll run over to that tree. So my fence line from the sky, this division of paddock, will be zigzaggy. And a couple of reasons why, as I talked about, I don't want to see the barbed wire from my house, so I've deliberately set it back. But I still want the same equal grazing areas. So then I'm going to cut in and go over. So that's my my little wisdom. This part of all my other fences are straight, that you drive down. This one won't be. It'll be the only one that jogs a little bit. And I'm fine with that. And you can do a jogging fence just like me. You don't have to be pedantic and, deforest your field. If you're not going to see it, nobody cares. Right? And I hit it. So, you know, little hunks of it that are straight, when you walk up, it feels like a straight fence, but it's not. And even that will look like a straight fence. And then that will look like a straight fence. And then from there to the next group of trees, and from the next group of trees, I'm going to guess it's 4 football fields from here to the back. So, American football fields. 360 meters for my buddies and listeners around the world. So, I don't know. Yards, meters a little bigger than a yard. So 400 yards, 360 meters, I'm guessing. But it doesn't matter, because I'm just, you know, eyeballing it, making it look good. And it does. It already looks good. The top of the fence looks good. I told you, don't worry about the level. It's the wrong thing to do. You follow the lay of the land. 2 posts, 40 foot apart, 3 T-posts in between, 10 foot apart, right? So then you get 40 feet. Sometimes I do 44 feet, and then I do, you know, et cetera, in multiples. But the 40 foot, 10 foot, it works really good.